there, I'm Olivia. Thank you in advance for watching my presentation on To Be in Charge of the Nighttime Through the Day. The idea that people will be watching is perfectly harrowing. However, I'm very excited. What comes is brought to you by Ron in North Carolina, who sells strange light bulbs, UW Surplus, and a very long tumble through thinking about writing, intimacy, and space, which was so generously fostered by Kate Northrup. I think it is rather fitting I be giving this presentation as a video. While you watch, I will not be pleasant. I could be boiling water for pasta, or driving to or away from somewhere, or nowhere. We will be completely separate the entire time, while still being in some capacity together, in some capacity intimate. That space between people is not easily given a name. I have been looking for one and have gotten nowhere. I have called it a void, a gulf, but as much as it can be vast and melodramatic, it can be simple and minuscule as a paper cut. I am perhaps looking for the edges, if not the name. It is tiring not to be able to give names to things, to not understand their edges, to not be sure if we have been in all the rooms, turned all the doorknobs, looked out all of the windows of someone else. But it is maybe at the same time the only thing that keeps us interested. This piece is the result of looking around. Never really sure if I'm finding anything. Or rather, finding that there isn't anything to find.
We go somewhere to leave ourselves out. You hold my hand this way, dragging me around, attached but detached like a balloon in a child's hands. I see the things you see seconds after you see them. When I mention them, you hum through your lips. Tugging along, we go on like this. Later we look into glass. We are reflected on the window. Inside there's a safe door, open, but not offering. The light is gray. It comes in slowly and lazily from outside, like drunk people wandering from bar to bar in a storm, scarves left askew. It must have once been a bank. It must have once been filled. Once. But not always. Not now. There is a sign advertising a month-to-month lease. Hey you say. Hey me, I say. We stand there for a moment. Another moment. I lean closer to the window to see past our faces looking back at us, but I can't find anything to look at, so I watch an imaginary woman's calves flick and flex over the top of heels that pinch into the carpet. The chair, the carpet, exist only in their function. I don't see the desk, I see the papers knocked flush atop it. I live only in my expectation, too stunned by the gaping, the gone, the black empty, to wonder what any of it means individually and without. Why would they leave that open like that? I point at the safe. You lean in now. Your fingers come off the glass and they leave prints too dainty to be yours. Are they yours anymore? They're too gentle, too waning, but there they are. You put your hand on the small of my back. While I feel you fidget with a loose string, I remember how I'm as real as I can be at arm's length away. A gust of wind blows at our backs and I expect the heavy steel door to slam, but it doesn't. I keep watching the safe, the desk and the desk chair, all that space filled and drained, binged and purged with space and time, fingers on knobs, kitten heels biting the carpet. There is no answer that either of us can offer the other. The question itself we leave ajar. We walk away, likely forever, without turning back to see even just one last time. And the wind is in my hair now, and you will find your way there later. And then I will be, as I am not always to myself, real. And we drive forward into the night. I watch the cars next to us, the light in their fogged headlights pushing through themselves into the same night. And all of this next to us. And this pushing, this pressure outward and inward from that light, from that car driving, from this car driving us. And all of this enacted on me, enacted on you too, later in bed, in the warm. And yes, we will get there because we might be there already, pushed against, pushed forward. You and night come as you do, and I come as I might. After we lay in one breath together, panting out air. I wonder how many balloons we could fill, what dirty things the balloons would say if they released all that we had filled them with at once. Surely cacophony would mean something new. My shirt lays around me, outlining me in jagged color. You tore it from me early on, but never bothered to remove it. Leaving it became more of a statement. It makes me think of Lady Guadalupe, surrounded in bright and piercing corona of sun or fire, or street cones lined in a line going on and on, her dress coming down blue against all that warmth. But I pause, holding my mouth open with the air in it dispersing, turning cool. She was never here, where I am now with you all over my stomach. And this is what they say, at least. When I no longer care about balloons and my breath becomes soft and regulated, there is nothing but the ceiling and the quiet that lives just below it, with our breath swirling with it like ballroom gowns in pinks and reds. Your hand is holding mine, but our eyes have other places to be, our thoughts too. Neither of us have left the bed, but in some ways, laying here, we are further from the other than if one of us had left the room. Air does feel heavy when you don't move in it. To get to you now would be moving against wind, each step slower and more labored than the last. You get up, and night lets the outline of your body be a bit more mysterious than it is during the day. I watch you move around the corner of the bed. Standing there, you are naked and pale, the moon making you like bone. You look out the window, that after tonight we will likely never see into or out of again. What does it look like out there, I ask. Lately, I want you to tell me about things, describe them as they are to you. Well, there is a city out there, you say. I nod sincerely. I like this building in the middle. It has some lights on. And? I don't envy those people working, you say. What else? Maybe some of them have their shoes off. What about other maybes? I ask. Maybe some are cold. You say, and I wait around for more. I ask for plural, and you've only given me singular. Will I always be the one to beg? I ask finally. All right. Maybe some don't want to leave there and go wherever it is they feel they ought to. We pause. And I don't envy them either. I leave you alone now, wishing I could see past the ceiling and into the night. The night being that big open space. You can't see it, but it is there, and it is open. And it could be yours, ours, mine, if we would just keep stepping further. And that building will never be its own color. It will always be reflecting what is around it. You say finally, tapping at the glass. Some moments we realize there isn't enough to say to the other. This is one. We stammer, have stammered, and will continue to stammer. It seems the equivalent of children trying to wrap their arms around their large uncles who don't visit often enough to warrant the aggressive reaching, and the crummy cheeks upturned, those lips too curled, fruit snacks and gibberish tumbling out of them. But maybe the reaching looks, sounds, feels enough like the love we want to name and give away. Maybe it is that overwhelming desire that makes us senseless and rabid, showing us just how often we are able to understand that there isn't enough of us to give to the other. Are answers to questions less real than just the things we think of and say in the same moment, I ask? It moves again under your skin. Your mother would accidentally have the answer to this, that bit about leading the horse to water. It's a flawed question, though, so I won't drink. You say, after taking some time to think. I hum to myself, inspecting you. It goes up and stays between your shoulder blades for a moment before lowering itself. If I could find it lovely, it is now, from a distance, the bubbling and the nodding of something beneath your skin, raising you and moving you. There are no bloody toes when you watch the ballet from the back row. So, I watch, believing in a grotesque grace. It all could just be me, or it could be actually within you. But what does it matter if it stands between us as a question, an unknown, something we fail to understand or explain? Finally, you smooth out again, take one more look out the window, and move back to bed. Your skin is cold, mine warm. Aren't they all? I say about flawed questions, and more that I just can't name. We are in bed now, and you're telling me about the city, only this time how I might see it. Like cat teeth, you say. I say, watching you say things you think I would say. Or your comb, you say. Oh yes, that too. Or these goosebumps, only it's your hand and voice at once. The curtains of the window move to the side like strangers passing on a narrow suitcase, but neither of us sees it. We stop to see how something else stopped. North of town, where the local paper describes a 57 train car pileup as compromised. So we go. taking the car, the highway, sidestepping small cactus and stiffer brush, sinking into the soft dirt. The sun is coming down quickly, and things are briefly warm-toned before the cool gets its shot at brief, before the night comes up, down, and all over. We are stepping carefully around a mess. Everything is folded. Some cars are torn open, giving them black eyes wide open. As we move past the gouged train cars, I stretch out my hand, thinking that the black and open space will feel differently on the flat of my palm. Things have spilled out all over. Liquids have not soaked into the ground. Liquids that have. Some sort of grain piles up here and there. You pick up a stick and poke at a clear liquid. When you pull it back out of the liquid, I realize it isn't in fact liquid. A skinny string of it stays attached and stretches with the stick. It looks like fishing line. This is glue, I think, you say, thinking. I look to the pool of what you are calling glue for fish trying to swim. The line snaps. I take the stick and poke around for myself. Glue seems too easy, but it just might be. We leave the stick standing in the goop, and it slowly lowers itself into the pool, disappearing completely, eventually, after we walk away. We climb over things and stand on the detached wheels. Up here we can look at the compromise in its entirety. Each train, its contents, the earth is buckled into each other, completely separate from the tracks leading away to a single sand-sized point on the horizon. None of this will ever leave that way again. It will be carried away, piece by piece, frame by frame, by men with gloved hands, machines with thick metal tines scooping, stabbing, not worried by that difference. And sometime the ground will grow back over the deep ruts and run smooth again. Well, what do you say? You ask of me. Should we get moving? Let's give it a shot, I say. You place your hand on my cheek, your thumb on my lips, then my cheekbone, then back, and always coming back like a revolving door, that part of you which moves without you knowing about it, without me being sure of it, comes, and I lean into it, into you. Since with another person drops off suddenly, to begin somewhere, sometime else, like they grew tired of hide and seek while you were still hiding in a small dark space with your breath making things smaller and doing on your upper lip and the nape of your neck while you wait to be found. And then, suddenly, there they are again, looking under blankets, behind doors, under shoes just to be coy. They knew where you were the entire time, just not when to throw back the curtain or pull open the door. Then let's, you say.